Level up your game with Corsair, the global leader in high-performance gear for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. From award-winning PC components to premium streaming equipment, smart lighting, and esports coaching services, Corsair delivers an ecosystem designed for peak performance. Whether you're a casual gamer or a pro, alleviate your setup with Corsair. Shop now at Corsair.com. That's Corsair.com. Corsair. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at BestBuy.com and upgrade your tech today. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Astrology Table for Two.
And there's always a third chair for you. Welcome to the Astrology Table. I'm Rachel.
I'm April.
And I'm Jordan.
And we are talking the new moon at 9 degrees of Capricorn this fine day. We are recording on the new moon day, Monday the 30th of December at 4:28 p.m. Central Time. We're just like an hour late here. So we're like super, super, super new moon. Yeah. We're in the vibes,
fresh.
Y'all.
It feels fresh.
Yeah.
Capricorn is not so fresh. It's Saturn's sign. So it's the 10th sign in the zodiac, cardinal earth sign, which, rules old things, tradition, establishment, conservatism, and also the knees, hair, skin, joints, bones, and teeth. How are you guys feeling about this Saturnine time?
I am leaning into it.
Yeah, I think I am too. I think I've been thinking a lot about how to honor my creativeness in a way that, I don't know, it brings like abundance to me, if that makes sense, or maybe like bring some respect to my creativeness,
like making like taking more of a business approach
to
the way you do creativity,
maybe a more
and
investment art. Kind of, not like investment, not purely just making it for the investment, but more of like, it's more of an emotional investment for me, maybe.
Spoken like a true Venus and Capricorn natally, for sure.
Absolutely.
But I also love, this calls to mind too, that the closest aspect this new moon is making to anything is a sextile to the moon's ruler at 14 degrees of Pisces. So we're taking our fun seriously, taking ourselves seriously, our goals. Remember that Saturn rules Capricorn, but the exaltation ruler of Capricorn is Mars. So this is about Saturn and Mars stuff and new beginnings in those areas. So I feel like we have some access to like long-term value or goals that are further in the future, some sort of evolution or transcendence over current challenges. What are you kind of encountering in that arena?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling like we're planting seeds, and these are seeds that will pay off for the long term. It's not just a quick turnaround. We're not talking about things that just sprout overnight necessarily, but that long-term investment. It's a great word, right. Jordan. It also, in my mind, feels like a cosmic reset button and an exhale. So I think the grounded energy is going to allow us to craft a roadmap that feels very practical, defined for the dreams that you have while staying aligned with our purpose.
I love that.
All those things together.
Yeah. I think consistency is really important for me. And I think it's looking at it, like they said, seeds, because for me, I get overwhelmed when I make these big, giant goals for myself. And I feel like I overdid it and I can't reach them, or it's going to take me a long time to reach them, which that's fine if it takes a long time. But setting really small, like doable goals for myself and practicing that diligence and like that consistency and that patience.
Yeah. It's like little breadcrumbs instead of trying to
do everything at once.
At once. Yeah. It's like, what is the small thing I can do today? And just, it's additive over time, bit by bit.
Well, because as a Sagittarius sun, I want to already be good at it. I don't want to have to practice. And so I get really frustrated when I realize that it's all in the practice.
You want to be the expert immediately.
Right. Saturn's like the devotion is in the daily doing.
It's like you got to put in the work. That's where you're going to find the output.
Well, you guys are also really speaking to the fact that the other aspect, this moon is actually relatively unaspected, which is interesting. I do like that it's not seeing Mars, which is having a rough time opposite Pluto right about this time. So
Seriously.
it's averse to Mars over there in Leo. So we're not encountering that. But this moon is loosely square to the North Node at 1 degree of Aries and the South Node at 1 degree of Libra at the North Bending. The North Bending is kind of the future tipping point, the thing that pulls us into the new, the next. But it's also a place where we are at a crossroads, where we are wayfinding and charting our course. So I love, especially with the North Node still in Aries until the 12th, having those small goals. Like Capricorn vision is long term, and it can be kind of intimidating for especially those of us who have those Pisces or Sag placements who are like, let's just be struck by divine intuition and like follow our hearts.
Right.
But this is more like, hey, there's a long term goal. That's kind of a lot, but I can do these small things. Like North Node is where Aries is still right now. Like, let me just today accomplish this thing.
Yeah. It's like if you want to write a book, maybe you just think about today I'm going to write a paragraph. And it's even, I think, also reminding us that I love how you said the creative process isn't just like a lightning bolt. A lot of times it's truly a labor of love where you get the inspiration that may come in a second, but the actual implementation, it's mostly editing, it's revising and taking what you have and reworking it again and again and again until it's good enough. And so don't feel badly if you're thinking this is all too much. Just take what you can a little bit at a time.
And change is imminent, man. Like the nodes are actually changing. Okay, there were so many highlights that I didn't include this in the top 3 transits because it's just not possible. But on the 12th, the nodes are changing. North Node is going into Pisces. South Node is going into Virgo. So we are going to do a little bit of this, like, let's throw out the rule book. Like, I know this might be pie in the sky, but North Nodes in Pisces conjoining Neptune, like,
oh, anything is possible.
Right. And it is. Honestly, it is, because I feel like if things don't go exactly your way in your planning, that there's no right way to do it, right? Like it's kind of just like, okay, you just have to adjust, right? Or it may just be a pivoting point and a new perspective maybe on approaching it differently. So if you feel like maybe you're lagging on your plans or they're not going how you want, I think that could maybe be a shift in like perspective for people on how to approach that organization.
And things are going to start going faster.
Yeah.
So if people are like, I want to see some results, it's like, oh, baby.
They will.
Yeah, buckle up.
Yeah, good.
They're coming for you. Results.
8 of Wands energy of like things are
Ooh,
moving fast.
yes.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And it is worth noting that this will be the first lunation in Capricorn without Pluto, or the first new moon without Pluto since 2008. I live for this.
This is almost a generational shift, or mid-generational shift. Like, I mean, think about 2008 and how long ago that was and what we were doing. Think about the economy in 2008, housing crisis. I mean, Pluto was like, let's completely disrupt how industry works. So many industries.
Well, and those of us, even people in their mid-late 30s, like subtract 16 years from right now, like these cycles, you were barely an adult.
Yeah.
Right.
We were barely adults.
Yeah.
I was, still in college.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
But this will be the first time, I think, to see Pluto changing signs as an adult. And kind of to your earlier point, too, we're all just humans trying to human out there. And I think early in life, it's easy to think, oh, people have got it all figured out. There's the adult in the room. And it's like, newsflash.
I still think that.
Well, we are all just figuring it out. No one is actually the adult
no one
in the room.
has it figured out. Yeah.
I know. It's like I'm still a young person in my mind.
Right.
And
you
it's
are.
like, but then people look to me as like, you're the responsible one. You know what's going on.
Right. You have the answers. And you're like, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I'll fake it till I make it all day.
Right. But this moon already feels a little bit, even though it's serious and sober. Like, I think, just as an example, today already, I've had several people reach out to me about, hey, do you want to offer sound baths here? Can we extend this program series?
That's
or
awesome.
I had applied to a master's program in counseling and they reached back for an interview. So like those type of professional things are happening, but it feels less plutonic. It really feels like I'm just more happy, more free about it, more at ease about it.
Like it's happening in flow with the energy that's already moving instead of it smacking you across the face and upending you.
or feeling like so dramatic.
So yeah, like oh my gosh, yeah.
Like all these obligations. Oh my God, how am I going to balance this and
Right.
that?
Your world is ending around you.
Yeah.
It feels easier to structure those things and to actually kind of have a like routine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fitting all the puzzle pieces together, like things just lining up kismetly.
And I'm saying that when the South Node goes into Virgo here in a little bit, I have no idea if I'm going to be like, you know what is routine? Like, let's live in the ether. Let's just like
Oh yeah.
feel
That Pisces
intuitive.
moon. Yeah.
Yes, that's
I'll
so
float with
true.
you, friend.
I feel like I'm so not Virgo-y, and so
I'm not
I
either.
need people. I need that structure. So when the energy goes away, it's like, yeah, we're just like we're making it up as we go. We're building this plane in the air. We're learning how to
stressing
fly
out
it.
all the Virgos in our lives.
Yeah, organization. What's that?
So for real, I have just recently made a purchase from Sphere and Sundry. My astrological teacher, Austin Kopic, his wife, Caitlin Kopic, has an astrological apothecary. And she made an Exalted Mercury series, so a Mercury and Virgo series. And I bought their colonia. So it's like just like this little holy water, right? But for Virgo. I'm like, I'm leaning on you because this energy is going to be lacking.
This is yeah.
not
this
gonna
is
be
our one
here.
hope.
My everything.
for the next 18 months. I need some Virgo help. So like I'm going to collect those Virgo friends, get the Virgo, astrological products. Like
All right.
I'm going to be pulling that in specifically because under this lunation, we are still dealing with that Jupiter-Saturn square
Yep.
and we're dealing with a Mars-Pluto opposition. So there's a lot that's tense. And I'm sure we all feel those kind of corners in our life where we're like, yeah, I'm really stuck in there. I'm in it.
Yeah.
This would be a good time to like find a favorite crystal, like a palm stone or something to help you feel grounded. Do grounding, whether it's with a grounding mat or just get your feet in the dirt. Anything to help you connect with
Literal
earth.
gardening, maybe.
Literally garden. Yeah. Do Virgo-ish things on purpose with intention to try to bring that energy in.
And I think intention is like if I could create a word and be like, this is the meaning of this moon. New forward moving intentions that we seriously
Ooh.
consider.
Yeah.
New forward leaning intentions that we seriously consider. I love that.
Because sometimes you can think like I'm going to manifest, and you can manifest sort of on a whim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested with this moon and like manifesting not on a whim, like manifesting in such a way as it's like
Practice.
Make your
Yeah.
list.
Ritualistic.
Align your actions with the intention. It's like do it in a series. Do it in a process.
Make an altar.
Make an altar.
That's like hands-on. That'd be fun.
oh, I love
and
that.
it's fun too because you can make your altar whatever you want it to
That's
be.
a fun New Year's
Yeah.
idea, like a mood board, but make it an altar.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that's
vision
cool.
board, but
Yeah.
make it functional.
Make it an actual
Yeah.
place instead of just like.
oh,
an
I'm
idea.
about
Cool.
that.
You could use like stones and gems and
I
Mhm.
think
that
that's
fun stuff.
phenomenal,
Right.
especially related to ancestor work.
Yes,
Ooh,
I mean an
yes. Our
ofrenda,
roots.
but for every day of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I've got a lot
Write
of
that down. Write that down.
North Node and Pisces stuff, right? You're like, oh, I feel it coming.
Yes.
I'm about to be my
You're like,
most.
What do I feel coming? That's like me. I'm like, what is this? Like, what do I feel?
Our bodies are preparing for what's next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I said this maybe last time, but one of my favorite astrologers has deemed this time to be sort of the pressure drop in the atmosphere before the storm.
Ooh, yeah.
You can
Cool.
smell the moisture in the air. The rain is coming, but it hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
The petrichor.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So, well, it's not really the smell of rain before it comes, but it's like that earthy smell when rain hits dirt, like really dry dirt or stones. It's called petrichor. It's one of my favorite words.
That is
That is
what.
a cool word.
Okay, let's title this episode Petrichor.
Okay.
It's so good.
Feels right.
I feel like that is a note in wine a lot too. That like
Mm.
minerally, earthy brightness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've gotten that in a few like if you're talking like chocolate region of Spain, like those like super mineral volcanic-y kind of soils. Anyway, wine nerd stuff.
I love that. And
I'm
especially
impressed.
I'm new moon in Capricorn. I'm doing dry 25 to try to have babies.
Oh.
That's,
OMG.
Rachel.
that's why I was having the glass of Lambrusco before I got here.
Oh.
Bomb
I've been my most lush self until
then.
Yeah.
Well, we're
yeah.
going back, and I'm getting
There you
another
go.
drink.
Perfect. And to use your earlier stuff, Jordan, you've said this in previous podcasts, Capricorn is all about generosity. And I feel like
Oh,
that
yeah.
that kind of being your best self. That's very Mars retrograde in Leo right now. Like, what does it take to be my best self? But part of that is that generosity and that sort of, where are you going to be the person who is taken care of? Because we can't just always be the taken care of.
No.
We've got to be the taking care of too. And I think that a lot of people, especially millennials going through Saturn returns in Pisces, are kind of getting to that point where they're like, oh, wait, I'm not baby.
I'm not no more. What do I need to nurture consistently, right? In order for it to actually grow and flourish.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, just how to show up as an adult in your own life. Remind yourself that you have to be the adult in the room. I think a lot of times, even like in culture, we just abdicate our own authority. And Capricorn is here to remind us that the responsibility will come to you, and it's your choice whether or not you're going to be ready. And I think this is a great moment to reset with the new moon, to say, okay, how am I going to be grounded in my spirituality, build structures that are both practical and soulful, and step up to the plate? Because you have to show the universe, speaking of manifestation, not only that you believe you're worthy of what you are calling in, but that you are ready and responsible enough to receive it.
Oh.
And what is ready? Right?
What is ready?
Only you will know. Yeah. Only you will know.
I feel like the
Boom.
North Node in Aries, North Node in Pisces is kind of like asking that question.
Yeah.
Aries is like, what do you mean? I've been ready. I was ready.
I've always fucking known.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Born ready, bitches.
Get mad. Yeah.
And Pisces is like, when God deems me ready.
Yes.
So,
I'm chosen. Yeah.
When I've been chosen. I have to pull the sword out of the stone.
Yeah, literally.
And then I am ready.
Right.
Okay, well, I
funny.
think we are ready at this moment for a break, for a word from our sponsors.
If they choose us.
If they choose us.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The You-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at youlike.com, because at YouLike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ULIKE.com. YouLike. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIM-X. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at eSIMX.com. That's ESIMX.com.
And we're back with the next top 3 transits of this lunar cycle. The first one being Pluto at 1 degrees in Aquarius, sextiling the North Node at 1 degrees in Aries, and trining the South Node on Tuesday, December 31st at 12:34 a.m.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! And I like how it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes,
Literally.
it is.
At 12:34, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4
So
a.m.
this aspect is insane. As in, I know it's you're like, what? This is a mouthful of an aspect. But Pluto sextiling the North Node and trining the South Node while they're on their way out on New Year's Eve, right after a new moon, to me, especially given the new moon is in the sign Pluto is just in, is like, hey, timeline switch, y'all.
Hey.
Like, you have the opportunity to skip something, like to get yourself on a brand new path, like to flow into it, to let go of stuff that's hindering you.
Are you going to let go?
Yes.
Ooh, this is like jumping through a wormhole and jumping ahead in time, or like passing into a different timeline or a different dimension. I feel like this could be deeply spiritual and transformative. Obviously, Pluto does that, but watch out. Like, I would say be ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pluto only trines and sextiles the nodes. Y'all, Pluto moves really, really, really slow. It takes about 250 years for it to go around the zodiac. So it only does this every 12 to 15 years, which, that's a pretty long-term cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it's doing it from Aquarius to Libra and to Aries. So I'm really feeling, especially with this Aquarian, the Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions that just started in air signs at the end of 2020, that this is going to be real, like us deciding what media to get off of, us deciding how to simplify the life, and like deciding also who we don't want anymore, like what is unfair,
Yeah.
right?
Ooh.
And then what is like, what do we as the collective want?
Yes.
And where trend is going to change. And I feel like trends are going to change rapidly.
What will
Interesting.
we no longer put up with? As a collective, what are we saying no to? And then, trend. I definitely feel like there's going to be an emergence. And there's also with kind of just all of these transits, it seems like we're going to have like a whole new genre of music being invented, or like something is
Yes.
just going to come and hit us out of nowhere. It's like when Michael Jackson landed on the scene or something, like something incredibly big.
Innovation, but of the kind where it's so innovative, you almost can't even think of it as change.
Yeah. It's not change. It's like a whole new language.
Yeah. It's a level up.
But I think this stuff will also kind of have this revolutionary, evolutionary energy to it, because Pluto is right now in an opposition with Mars. So I think there's a lot of this, like, what are you against? And what are you for? But mostly, what are you against? Like, what are you being like, no, we won't take it
What
anymore.
pisses you off? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a, like, look around the world, right? There's a whole lot of like, we don't like this. Like, we don't want that.
I just watched Thelma and Louise again over the break, and with my teenager, so she saw it for the first time. And in that film, it feels very much of this energy. Like they're just like, we're not going to live by anyone's rules anymore. Something shifts, and there's like this moment where Louise is like, I am different and I can't go back. And you see her just, I mean, completely different person, like from this meek, naive, scared woman to like this like very brilliant criminal who's kind of playing the game by her own rules. So this to me is like the collective doing that and saying that we're drawing a line in the sand and it's a whole new world.
The Thelma and Louise transit.
The Thelma and Louise transit for sure.
For real. No, I think that's brilliant, especially because Aquarius, it is the 11th sign and it's represented by the water bearer, which in the zodiac is shown to be a woman. So I feel like women bearing, just kind of like, what is everybody saying on social media? The divine feminine.
The divine
Yeah,
feminine.
People are all talking about the divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of energy.
People have said that the collective is shifting away from patriarchal structures. And I think that's completely reflected in the zodiac. And people are saying also, I'm hearing a lot of like kind of the way things are going, even in the American political cycle, but globally politically, is like the death knell of patriarchy. Like its last cry out before it's.
It reminds me of the Nazi Germany blitzkrieg before they knew they were going to lose.
Oh, yeah. They knew. So they just got angry and firebombed everything. To just like, if we're going to go down, we're going to go in a blaze of glory. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if men did that.
Which I think is that Pluto sextile, the North Node in Aries.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of that resistance. But I think in the more personal sphere, that for us to kind of do that innovation within our own art, craft, style, right? Maybe kind of what trends do we want to try out? Because we're allowed to be different. We're allowed to evolve. And we might do something that is, very different than what we have done in the past. Shifting in lifestyle, I think even, how sometimes you're like, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym every day. And like now you're different. You're just the person who's going to the gym every day. That
literally happened to me in the past year. It completely changed who I was and even my interests in how it's fascinating how you think something as casual as like, well, I'm just going to work out actually makes you, because your body transforms, like it's alchemy. Yeah. I mean, it's really
like transforms
powerful.
your nervous system too.
It does. Yeah. Your metabolism, everything. Mm-hmm. I love these key energies that you mention here, Rachel. Time to revisit themes of self-expression, courage, personal power. especially pay attention. I think our audience will like this. Pay attention to unresolved creative or romantic dynamics that resurface for healing or resolution.
Funniest part, you actually wrote this.
I did?
Yeah, I didn't write
Yeah,
that.
I was like, wait, I think that's April's notes.
Oh,
here.
hysterical.
Yeah, but no, but I love the notes as well. I feel like
I forget what I wrote. It was like 3 hours ago. It wasn't even that long ago.
specifically resurfacing. I mean, it's the new moon, and you just had a contact.
I literally
resurface.
had it. That's why I'm laughing. I wrote this before it happened.
Yeah, yeah.
It's playing out in real time.
Because we are always part of the group, and Aquarius is the group and Leo is the individual. And right now, Mars in Leo retrograde is opposing, but I think it's asking us all to change a little bit, like personally change, in order to empower the group or to find your empowerment, because Pluto can empower, but it can also disempower.
Yeah. And there really can't be healing or resolution without discomfort in the group. It's going to disrupt, some group settings a little bit.
People be mad when you like evolve
Yes.
and start showing up
Yes.
as your highest self.
Right.
It calls people out. Just living your life in alignment feels like a giant call out to
Yeah.
everyone else who's not doing that.
Yeah. You can really piss people off unintentionally.
Unintentionally, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like divine experience or plant medicine. Some people are like, "Oh, give it to me," and some people are like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going.
Don't
to
you ever talk about that.
Yeah, I will. Who can meet God? You cannot do that.
Right. Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
And speaking of the who do you think you are energy, this second transit to me is the best lady in the room.
I'm so excited.
So Venus is in Pisces, y'all. She's entering Pisces on Thursday, January 2nd. Happy New Year to us at 9:24 p.m. Central Time. I think this is the best transit of the cycle.
Oh, 100%. We love Venus in her exaltation. We want her to be happy and at home. It makes us feel more in touch with our own pleasure, our love for ourselves. We're able to access creativity and just work with beauty in a great way. Healing energy with Pisces, like love and beauty can heal even the deepest wounds, is the note I had here.
So y'all out there, Venus exalts or does her very, very best work in Pisces, even though it's ruled by Jupiter. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac, represented by the fish and ruling the ankles, feet, and lymphatic systems. So all of the watch where you're walking, kind of like, what are you doing? Do what you love. Like, hear the call of your joy, your pleasure, your interest, because the North Node is shifting here too. So we're going to get a pull towards the Venusian, the Piscean, and Venus will also be in there with Saturn and Neptune. So there's a lot of energy in this Pisces sector, but Venus there is going to be the loveliest thing in the sky by far.
Can't wait.
It's
I'm
so
excited.
good.
Yeah, it's very good for all of the Pisces things. So Jupiter's our higher good, right? Venus is our personal good. And when those two are one and the same, which they always actually are, things are awesome, which is why Venus exalts there. But we're going to do this, the healing, the compassion, the catharsis, the empathy, the unity, the ceremony, the prayers, the meditation, forgiveness, hope, faith, intention, all of the things that will help us through the chaos of the moment and that will give us that sort of life as art vibe.
And it's like a
Yes.
flow state too. I feel like it's going to be kind of just constantly there.
If you're planning to do any creative work, I would say start on the 2nd and let it go. Just let it flow through you until
Right.
the 4th when it
Without judgment.
moves.
Yeah,
Mhm.
let yourself express yourself freely.
Yeah, without don't do the editing yet. It's like let it just flow out and do and create and feel, and then you can revise it later.
Right.
Because you will, because
You
Venus
will.
is doing her retrograde in
Then,
Pisces.
yeah, because then she's gonna retrograde.
That'll come anyway. So
So I
Have fun.
I love this because when planets do their retrogrades in their signs of exaltation, I feel like we get the best results. So we have extra tons of Venus in Pisces this spring. So we have her there until February 4th. Then she stations retrograde in Aries and she re-enters Pisces on the 27th of March and stays there till the 30th. So it's like 2 months of Venus in Pisces.
Yes.
We love it.
I feel like that's sprinkling that sparkly dust on top of
of all the
winter,
shit
spring.
going on.
It'll get us
Mhm.
through. It's such a good point. I feel like this is the beauty and enjoyment we need to get us through the dark days of winter. until we actually
Yes.
get to the spring.
Well, and we're going to sense this keenly because Venus goes from Pisces to Aries, barely gets into Aries and retrogrades. Aries is the sign of her detriment. So it's like going from her best self to her like most bombastic, sort of intense and maybe not easiest self to
Right.
deal with. So we're
Yeah.
going to get the hot and the cold. Like we're going to feel the difference between these two things and all the action. So if you're listening out there, all of the action in spring, in winter spring of 25 is in Pisces and Aries.
Wow.
Okay.
That's where it all is. So check out your Aries and Pisces houses. Get ready to rock right there.
Okay. That's what's up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we don't have any more transits there now, but pretty much all the whole story will take that watery feel later in January. But before it does, we have our third transit, which is Mars retrograde re-entering Cancer on Monday, January 6th, of course, at 4:43 a.m. Central Time. And I say, of course, because the actual notorious January 6th was a Mars retrograde cycle too. And it was the day
I
that
did not
Mars
know that.
retrograded from Gemini to Taurus. So January 6th, it re-entered Taurus.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I put it on there instead of the nodes because I'm like, some shit's going to go down
Something is going to blow up.
on this day. And I mean, Cancer, kind of like Taurus, those are two signs in which Mars does not do well.
Passive aggressive.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's good.
yes. Yes. So
Yeah. Back channeling, things
mhm.
happening behind the scenes.
You cannot expect people to read your mind. And I'm saying that as someone with their Mars in Cancer. You have to communicate with people and not assume that they know what's best for you. That's where a lot of my passive aggressiveness stems from.
And lashing out,
Yeah.
right? The like subtle lash out,
The
right?
frustration, well, you don't know, like, I don't need to tell you why I'm mad. You should know why I'm mad. Well, no, that's a little immature.
The thing I do like about this, though, is when Mars goes back into Cancer, one, it breaks that opposition with Pluto by sign. So, yay, no more of that for a
Yippee.
little while. But two, it begins to trine everything in Pisces. So
okay.
it's like having a hard time. You know how we were talking about the discomfort of like healing and growing and evolving? I feel like this Mars is like, okay, fine, I'll do that.
I'm not going to be happy about it, though.
It's going to hurt, but I have to.
All right.
That's so funny.
And I think we're going to be doing some unpacking of emotions or, healing those wounds. I feel like there's going to be a lot of therapeutic stuff going on with this Mars in Cancer, specifically related to the past. So whether it be, things that happened to you in your life or ancestry or, sort of inner child work or, changing habits, there's going to be a lot of this like, fine, I'm going to do the hard thing.
I'm literally going to do a plant medicine based trauma healing retreat in Mexico, which will conclude on the 23rd.
Wow.
The direct station?
Yeah,
Of course.
of course. So hopefully on the other side, I will be.
You will
have
be.
done
There's no hope.
the
You will be.
unpacking,
Yeah.
the healing of wounds. It'll be somatic movement. It'll be therapy. It'll be all of it.
Yeah, and for y'all listening, February 23rd is the day that Mars stations direct in Cancer. But y'all, it's in Cancer from January 6th until actually April 17th. Like, we've got a lot of Mars in
Yeah.
Cancer.
It's a long runway
Yeah.
to sort this out.
I think pouty's a good word. Like, like how you were like, I don't want to do it, but I will. Fine. I
kind of
guess.
stomp
Yeah.
my feet and
I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's kind of some womb work. Like, we're all kind of,
Ooh.
literally, I'm trying to have a kid. But
Yeah.
for everybody else, I feel like it's going to be this trying to kind of go into your little healing space and be like, well, I'm going to harden up in here until I'm not as soft
Right.
about this, until I'm good with
Try
it.
not to pinch anybody in the meantime, though.
Yeah, pinching and clinging. I love the crab metaphor is so good with Cancer because it can be like a little pinch or it can be like I'm grabbing on and not letting go. So watch out what you like are clinging desperately to. Maybe you just need to
Have y'all
relax.
seen any of the meme with like the crab, like when someone puts a knife in their claw and they're like running around with,
Yes,
like,
with the knives.
like crabs with knives. I think that's just like a really funny
That's
like
hysterical,
representation.
That's this.
That is this
That is
exactly.
I think
Like,
also,
it's just
though,
running around.
it's worth noting that everything in Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this Mars in Cancer is going to be very different depending on the day that you encounter it. If we've got an exalted moon in Taurus, beginning of Taurus hanging out, this is going to be lovely. We're going to get things done and feel and heal and probably cook some amazing meals because
Right.
Cancer and Taurus can cook. But if it's going to be, you know, a moon conjunct Pluto, it's going to be like, well, I'm freaking out. I don't know why, but like I have to protect everything and everyone.
I'm feeling really defensive.
Exactly. So basically, this transit will amplify whatever the moon's already doing.
Yes.
So just pay attention to what's happening with the moon over the next few months and know that you'll feel that like 10x.
Which will give us variable energy, and it will kind of have, you know, fluctuating with pace, and that maybe we won't be emotionally consistent. I also do think, though, it will incite women. Like I feel like Mars in Cancer, like women doing things is going to be a big thing.
Women gathering, women talking. There are,
us. Cute.
yeah, literally.
Yay.
Oh,
Yay.
podcasting.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my God.
It's good.
Yeah, definitely cyclic patterns of activity and definitely an emphasis. Like we're talking about Cancer, Pisces, and the moon in Capricorn, everything going into Pisces. Like this is a very yin time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very yin time.
Be open and receive, and yeah.
And the next full moon, y'all, the next full moon will be in Cancer. So it'll be one of the juicy, lovely ones on Monday the 13th, except for it will also be conjunct Mars. So we'll get to know a lot about this Mars in Cancer, this next moon. We're going to see it on display.
It'll be a beautiful microcosm of the whole cycle.
Maybe we can
Yay.
debut our actual new like logo and stuff. Like boom,
Yeah.
full moon,
Here we
Mars.
go.
Look at this.
Look
Like,
at this.
yeah.
Do you like it? Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Setting a goal. Look at us.
Yeah.
New moon in Capricorn.
And debuting a new thing is only, for those of you listening, I only recommend it during a Mars retrograde if you're redoing something.
Right. Revise it versus starting fresh.
Yes.
Oh,
Or if
okay.
it's something you've thought about for a long time and you were going to do it and then you didn't.
You're finally putting pen to paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
great.
you've already kind of gone over.
Okay.
So we've been thinking about this. We just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year to everyone out there. And thank you so
Cheers.
much for watching the Astrology Table. Please, please, please rate us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a little comment. It helps us so much.
Right. Be honest too. We're not afraid.
Yeah, tell us what's really up. Bye.
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.